Hi, it is another episode of what? Your Life Cheerleader. I'm going to go ahead and start recording. We're going to get right into this. It is late. I'm tired and I'm hungry and I haven't eaten today. So I did want to get this up and out because I'm really trying to be consistent. And today is my posting day. So I want to make sure I stay on top of that. And actually, our topic today is so on point. All right, so hold on one second. Let's get this party started. Hi, and welcome to Your Life Cheerleader. I'm your host, Sky. This is a podcast where I am here to encourage, uplift, and just be with you and encourage you every single step of your life journey. So today, I want to talk about what the small steps create. I've talked about taking small steps, talking about, hey, it doesn't matter, just take the small step. So let's dive a little deeper into what exactly do these small steps create. And I just want you to know that these steps are it's like your training ground, right? The little small steps. And we know that it may not look different. It's like, am I really doing something here? Yes. The small steps are creating something different because even when it doesn't look different, it is, okay? And you're not just moving your life forward when you take a step. You are retraining how much you trust yourself, right? Like I said, you're training. It's like a training ground. And now you're in the habit because it's a training ground and it's habit forming, right? So like I said, small steps, they're not just having you just get from point A to point B. That's your time to train. They are training you. They are teaching you about the nervous system. It's teaching you that, you know what, this is actually safe. It's teaching you that you are somebody who follows through. Even though you think, oh, I start things, but I don't finish them. Yes. The small steps are teaching you that you are actually a finisher. You can be a finisher. So, and it's not about how fast I can get to that end of that line or, man, how big was this thing that I completed? It's about repetition, right? Every day that you get up and head to the gym, or every day that you write in your journal, or every day that you start writing that book, even though it's not finished, it's the small steps. Or for me, it's me creating this podcast. So every week that I create it, it's now becoming like a full-fledged actual podcast with lots of episodes. Before you know it, I'm going to hit like 100 episodes. I've been doing this since 2025, May of 2025, and I've been consistent with doing one episode a week. And look where I am. We're in 2026. So I've retrained my mind because I didn't think that I could do this, actually. I was like, podcast? No, it's going to be a lot of time. I'm not going to be able to. I'm just not. So I would just completely dismiss it. But I would show up time and time again. And before you know it, it's a momentum that's building up. So am I like a top-notch podcast? Do I have all these people who are listening? No, I don't have millions of people listening yet. But again, I'm in that training. Just think about when people train for the Olympics. When they start off, they don't win that gold medal right away. They have to train to win the gold medal, and it's whatever sport it is. They're not going to just go right out there and just be that number one player. They had to train, they had to learn, make mistakes. But the more we start training, the more we do it, the more consistent that we are, the way that we retrain our brain into saying, yes, I am going to be a finisher. It's that momentum. So remember, momentum is not created by big, huge moves. It's all about repetition. Repetition. You are consistent in showing up. All right, so let that just sink in for a minute. It's about the repetition that's happening. And when we think about progress, we usually just think about the big picture, that the results. But just think, the progress actually starts beforehand, right? It's in our body, it's in our identity. So that's where the progress is starting. It's not in the results. It's who we are becoming. So if you notice, all of these episodes of mine that I have, they all kind of tie hand in hand. So, and you've got to know that you can do it. It's just the itty bitty steps, and be repetitive and consistent. Retrain your mind. Your body is a training ground. What you are doing is a training ground. You are training yourself for success. You're training yourself to be an author, right? If you're running to write a book, you're training yourself, and it's little by little by little, and it's the habits. And they tell us that habits take anywhere from like 18 to 354 days to become something that's consistent, that we're doing, that consistent habit. So the more and more we start doing it, even though I know they say like 21 days for something to become an actual habit, but I think for everybody, it's a different time span. It might be 21 days for you. It might be a little longer. But I know I've been pretty consistent, even though I was just super tired today, that no, today is my day to record, and I've got to put it out tonight. And I'm consistent with putting it out at the same time. It always goes out on a Wednesday at 12:11 a.m. So if I didn't record the episode when I'm supposed to, something needs to go out on Wednesdays at 12:11 a.m. So that I am very consistent on. And but anyway, getting back to, every time when we repeat whatever action, whatever small action, and there's like a little shift in us. There's something that happens inside of us, right? We kind of become used to it. Our resistance to do that thing, it kind of softens. We don't give ourselves all these excuses, right? We make it happen. And we trust ourselves. Self-trust, that start growing, because we know, hey, I need to do this at this particular point in time. And me saying, I don't know if anybody's going to listen to my podcast. That fear grip, it loosens up, because fear, which is created in our mind, makes us stop in our tracks and not continue on. Fear, we just got to go out there, and it's easier said than done, right? And not have any fear. But you know what? Again, the fear is in our mind. And when we take that first step, and then when we're consistent, you see how the fear just kind of just dwindles away. And then you're like, what was I scared? What was I scared for? So, and it's not about convincing yourself. We're not convincing ourselves anymore. Oh, yes, you know what? I can do this podcast. I can do this podcast. No, I am someone who does podcast, or you are an author. You are that thing. So that's who we're that person that keeps that thing going. And that's how we get confidence, right? So our confidence is not forced anymore. It's just us being consistent. And it's just as easy as us bending down and tying our shoes. It's just simple, something that's just so natural. So that's what those small steps, it's creating all of that, right? Who knew? Who would have thought that? Just in those little small steps. So, and think about the fact that the small steps, it's not that it's producing what it's producing externally. Again, look at what it's doing on the inside of you. Look at the person that it's changing you into, that confidence that it's building, right? So I want you to think about what part of you is changing because you didn't quit. And then, do you feel a little more steadier, a little more sturdier than before, you were consistent? So those are just some questions to just kind of think about, but you're building that trust inside of you. Yes, and that is something to be proud of. It is something to be so proud of. And you got to start loving on yourself. So that's part of loving on yourselves. Yes, you are doing it. Whatever it is, if you're learning, you want to learn something and you just start doing research and you've been consistent with doing research to learn whatever it is you're trying to learn. And before you know it, you're going to have learned that thing, right? So here's what I want for you to do for this week. You've got some homework. I like to assign homework. So I want you to repeat one action that you've taken on purpose, something that you said you were going to do, and you did it. It could be eating healthier, and you decided to meal prep. Even if it's just putting fruits in your lunchbox or off to the side that you're going to take with you. Because it's one step, right? It's one step closer. It's one step into training you to doing a full-fledged meal prep. So remember, it doesn't necessarily have to be bigger. It doesn't have to be louder, but just something that you are now doing intentionally. And it's repetition. Again and again. You got that fruit out. You got that fruit out day after day after day after day. So whatever it is. Or if you said, you know what, I'm going to try and really be on my social media game. I really want to, market my company. And you set up a schedule. Boom, that's one step that you did. You set up that schedule. And now, okay, you got one post. You post consistently once a week. That is great. Because that one post can lead to 2 posts, to 3 posts. Or I'm going to bring it back to someone I know trying to kick the habit of smoking. Okay, you know what? It's not going to be a cold turkey situation. Sometimes it doesn't work like that. Remember, it's not the bigger picture here. It's the smaller steps. So you used to smoke a whole pack a day, which is super expensive, I'm sure. But now you are down to half a pack a day. Okay, guess what? Now you are down to what? You only had 3 cigarettes a day. And before you know it, you're down to 1 a day. And then, boom, you may have reached your goal at no cigarettes a day. It's baby steps. The same thing I tell people whenever, I want to become a vegan, but it's just so hard. I can't do it. You can do it. But just don't rush and throw out all the food that you've been eating for the past 40 years because you're so used to it, right? So you've got to retrain your mind into the direction that you want it to go. So, all right, you want to eliminate chicken wings. You're going to have to just start cutting them off little by little by little. Eliminate dairy products little by little by little. And before you know it, you are a full-fledged vegan. And now you're not tempted when you see a jar of Snickers. I don't need that. Why? Because you've retrained your mindset. So just know repetition creates momentum. Repetition creates momentum. Those little small habits that you just keep doing. You keep doing it. and it's creating momentum like a pendulum. So, and you don't need to prove anything to anybody. You don't need the proof. You don't need anybody's permission. First off, if you're showing up, guess what? You're already going in that right direction. You are already becoming that person who's going to keep going all the way to the finish line. And this girl right here is cheering for you. I'm on your side. You can do it. You can do it. You're going to get there. You're going to quit smoking. You're going to become a vegan. You're going to write that book. You're going to become that social media guru and have all these posts out. You are going to do it. So grab your journal. We got some prompts. 1. So we're going to become aware. I want to know, what small action have I already started that I could repeat this week? What was that? 2, identity shift. What does repeating this said action say about the person that I'm becoming? 3, and then you're going to reflect. Where do you feel more grounded, capable, or sturdier than you did before? 4, your future self. Now, how might your future self benefit if you keep showing up this way, the way that you're showing up right now? How would your future self benefit? You'd become that author. Your health would be better. How will your future self benefit? So you got this. I believe in you. I am your life cheerleader. Please share this podcast with somebody. Tell a friend to tell a friend, and we can all be friends and all uplift and encourage each other. And I'll see you back here next week.